After we've finished developing an analysis services cube, one of the last things that we are going to want to do is to put it into production. And to put it into production, it needs to start processing itself. So no more processing it from the development environment. We need this to happen on a scheduled automatic basis. And often the question comes, how do I actually do that? So I'm going to show you a very simple way to do it, and probably a method that's going to work for the majority of the cubes you'll ever develop. I'm going to begin by pretending that I'm going to process this database. It's an analysis services database manually. And at the top of Management Studio's dialog boxes, usually you'll find a script button like this one. So it says Script Action to New Window. You can actually script this to the clipboard, which would make more sense for what I'm about to do, but I'm going to put it into a new window so that we can take a look at that command first. So I'll hit the script button. Some things have happened behind the scenes. I'm going to hit cancel. And what we see is what's called an XMLA command. Commands to analysis services to do actions, not queries, but administrative functions and commands are going to be in XMLA. Actually, even queries become XMLA in the long run, but you probably think of queries more being in MDX or DAX. But in any case, that's a tangent. So this is an XMLA command to process a cube, and we can tell that because it says in a batch, in parallel, of course there's only one command, so there's only one thing in parallel, process this object called Contoso AS, which is a database, and what kind of processing should it take, and it's going to be a process full. So this is do everything. You could put more fine-grained commands in here. This could be any XMLA, but this is the most basic, simple kind of process command that you can get. So what I want to do though is send that command on a scheduled basis, and it so happens I can use another tool within the engine called SQL Agent to send these commands. So I'm going to connect to my relational instance because SQL Agent kind of runs embedded in that environment. So I can use SQL Agent to send this command on a scheduled basis, and I'm going to create a new job to send a command on a daily basis. So I'll call this daily process of Contoso Cube. Now steps, I could have a lot of steps in here, but for this example I'll just have one step. So this is going to be process full database. And this command is going to be, if I come down and look, I will find an analysis services command. SQL Server analysis. Now it doesn't say XMLA, but that's what it's expecting. And I have to tell it what server I want this to be on, and that server is going to include the instance if I have one. So in this case I do, and it's labsql1 \md. My command is that one. I'll just paste that in. You could write this by hand if you want, but I always find it easier to try to develop as much as I can and as scripted out to a window. And then just press OK. So I've got one step, process database. If I want to schedule that, I can go to the schedules command and create a new schedule. This is going to be a daily, we'll say 5 a.m. Recurring, and we'll say this is going to run every day, 5 a.m. Start date, no end date, that's fine. Click OK, click OK. And now what I have is a daily process of the Contoso job that's going to run. I don't need this window anymore. So every day what's going to happen is this job will run. I'm just going to run it now just so we can see that it works, and just tell it go ahead and start. Okay, so we fast forwarded a little bit there so you didn't have to watch the entire run of that job, but the job is completed successfully. I can look at the history to see the output of that step. And I get my job has succeeded.